Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby, round 14 of the URC, done and dusted. And as a South African rugby fan, this was a tough watch this weekend. Especially since I'm a Stormers fan as well. And we'll get into all of the games. Obviously, I'll focus a bit more on the South African games. But please, if you are a rugby fan and you do like talking a bit of shit, this is the place to be. So do remember to hit that like and subscribe button, join the community. We've got a pretty active comment section. So go in there, go leave your opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, tell me your opinion. But anyway, we start off on the Friday night, right? Ulster versus the Stormers. And I wouldn't say I was too confident going into this game or anything, but I was pretty confident, okay? Getting our points away from home, coming back, and then we finally got into the top 8. And I made the promise, right? Now, firstly, I'm part of the loud community when it comes to rugby. Like, I scream at the fucking TV, right? I'm either going to be loud and screaming at the TV, or I'm going to be loud and drunk and screaming at the TV. But I wasn't drunk on this occasion. I know we can be a bit obnoxious, but that's just kind of the way that I approach being a fan and watching rugby. Right? But I made the promise that I won't be loud while watching the Stormers game. And I did not keep that promise whatsoever. This was the most infuriating game that I've seen in a very long time. Now, I made a whole rant video right after the game on TikTok, so be sure if you wanted to see my instant match reaction on it. But I was so angry and pissed off with this Stormers team. Like, we had the lead after like 8 minutes, 17-0. Just deep that for a second, 17-0. We played Ulster. They haven't got all the world beaters in the team. Like, they're not a bad team, Ulster, but they're not Leinster, right? They're not Toulouse. And we just let them right back in and have their way. Like, after that first 8 minutes, I don't think we played rugby again until about the 65th minute. Like, it was out of this world crazy. And I've seen a lot of people talking about some of the reffing decisions in that game and whatever. I'm not going to blame the ref. Right? Like, Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu had an absolute brain fart. He should have got that yellow. The Nettling Fouché one, never a red in my opinion. I don't know where he should have tackled, but that was not a red. Okay? But other than that, I don't give a shit about what the ref said. We were our own worst enemies. I mean, like, fumbling the bag with zero pressure on you is something to behold. Like, it was utterly crazy. And I'm not massive on calling out players, but I think, like, Leland Zas, I love Leland Zas. I love and adore all of these players, right? But that guy probably conceded about 14 points on his own defensively. Like, it was out of this world crazy how bad we were defensively. Like, it was stupidly crazy. Then you look at, we were 17-0 in front, by the way. We had a 5-meter maul away from their goal line. So we could have gone up 24-0, right? From that, we concede about 6 penalties or something and go onto a yellow card warning. And we concede 2 tries. How is that even humanly possible? Like, seriously, I have no idea what I watched after the first 8 minutes. I was so happy. We were clinical, we pounced on the opportunities, we played well, and then we just couldn't get the ball. And you know why we couldn't get the ball? Because we had no damn fetcher. I mean, we played against Scarlets last weekend, and our fetcher obviously got knocked out cold, right? That's Dion Footy. Wish him all the best. But he was obviously the fetcher, and when he went off injured, we struggled a bit. How can you not pick a fetcher? I don't know where Paul de Villiers is, but I want him back right now. Like, unless he's extremely injured, I don't know why that guy isn't playing. You cannot play a game without a fetcher. We didn't look a single time like we are actually going to steal the ball at the breakdown. I can't even remember a steal from the breakdown, except for Sazi Santi right there at the end, who stole a ball to give us a penalty where we got the line out and then we missed the line out. Like, this was crazy bad. Like, for the Stormers, this was crazy bad, and we've had a bad season so far. And I don't want to keep on knocking on the Stormers, but when you put out a performance like that, and obviously I want to give Ulster their credit, and I will get to that in a second. But I mean, another name is like, people want to jump on Dweba every second that they get. Andre Venter is throwing lineouts to no jumpers. No jumpers whatsoever. And it's not once or twice. It's like 3-4 times a game. I am more surprised when we win a line out of our own throw than when we lose it. Like it is utterly crazy. Overall, like I thought we played fine in that final 15 minutes. We played great in the first 8 minutes. We were all over Ulster. But what happened in that middle patch? We just lost all momentum, just kept making mistakes. And I mean, we get the ball, we don't kick it out when we have a penalty, we knock it on. We don't send enough cleaners to the breakdown. And this is a problem that the Stormers have always had. Which like, why don't we have anyone doing dirty work? Where's the quick ruck ball? We want to play this flashy rugby, but no one's actually committing to the breakdown and cleaning the ball. Like, what is going on? Ulster on the other end, like, to fight back like that against the Stormers, well done. Jacob Stockdale was absolutely great. Just like, after just putting a solid team effort, Lowry, he put Leland Zas on skates. He left his ankles in Cape Town. It was crazy. I don't even have words to describe it, right? I'll just say well done to Ulster. But 38 points to 34, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, seriously. The Stormers, at least, we got 2 points from the game, which I'll take, right? We still got, what, 7 out of our 10 points on the road. And some people would say that's fine. But when you look at our closer races, I mean, we were in what? What were we at? 6th? Could be 7th or 8th, and now in 10th again after one loss. At least we're coming home now, 2 weeks break, and I mean, seriously, something's got to fix up over there because that was crazy. Anyway, let's move on to the Bulls that took on Zebre, 63 points to 24. It's strange that you think like 63 points and it wasn't even the most convincing performance necessarily, but the Bulls did their job at home. I mean, it's massive for them, moving on to 50 points now. Literally still right behind Glasgow, still right behind Leinster. Could have been a lot closer if the Sharks did their job. But yeah, I'm not going to knock the Bulls if they put on 63 points on Zebre, who went last weekend toe-to-toe against a full-strength Sharks team. So, well done by the Bulls, getting their points, kind of just furthering, securing their top spot. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Bulls fans supported Leinster this weekend to kind of get the Sharks a bit off their back. But yeah, 5 points, you'll take that all day long. Moving into literally the final 4 games of the season. Why not? Next up, Sharks versus Leinster, and wow. Talk about Stormers putting in a stinker. The Sharks, goodness gracious. I sound like a negative Nelly, but right, you look at this and you're just like, what were you doing? That's a full-strength Sharks team, or nearly full-strength Sharks team. And I at least thought they would have a lot of pressure on Leinster. It felt like Leinster had more pressure on the Sharks. There was just no ideas flowing out there. This was bad. Right? Because I saw on social media people talking about Leinster being cocky, not even playing Ergie or Geordie or whatever. They didn't need to. They didn't even need to. They scored their two tries, got them to 10 points. The Sharks literally scored 7 points. 7 to 10. No attacking ideas. Carved open defensively. It just felt so lackluster from the Sharks. Like this was a golden opportunity to get 5 points against Leinster. Right? I'm not saying you guaranteed 5 points against Leinster when they put out a team like that. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But playing in the Shark Tank against like literally a C team of Leinster and only putting up 7 points and losing the game, that is bad. That is really, really, really bad. And you can have all the talent in the world, but that does not feel like a well-coached team. And I've said this for a million years. I don't want to be that guy that knocks on John Plumtree the whole time. But at what point do you just draw the line? I know they're still sitting in 4th, right? So this could be very, very harsh. But that performance speaks a lot. And you look at last week's performance against Zebre, where I said, okay, well, they wouldn't worry about it too much because they're playing Leinster, they're focusing. Well, now you have to worry about it because that performance against Zebre was terrible. This one was way worse. Way worse. So, I don't know. A look in the mirror there. You've got all the youngsters. You've got all the Springboks. Everything. But there's no drills running in there. That's like, we've got talent. We'll just give it to the talent and hope for the best. Lorenzo Julius was fine. right? Ethan Hook had one of his quieter games, and the rest, like, I don't really know. Like, it wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, and the big part of it is just like there was no pressure put on Leinster. It didn't look like Leinster was holding on for dear life. I can understand a scoreline like that, and you give credit to Leinster, where it's like they really had to defend out of their socks. They didn't. They didn't. Obviously, well done to Leinster, right? For making that, they didn't have to do that. But goodness gracious, the Sharks did not pitch up for their own game whatsoever. Anyway, next up, Glasgow taking on the Lions, and goodness gracious, the Lions sitting in 14th now. They started the season so well. I've said that so many times. They nearly conceded all their points in the first half, but Glasgow at home, you just don't beat Glasgow at home. I can't remember the last time that Glasgow actually lost while they were at home. They're a crazy team to beat. Play some of the most sexy rugby, like literally persistent attack. It's like, we can't break you down. Not at the moment, but we'll keep knocking until we break you down. There's nothing of kicking the ball away, securing possession again, or just playing the territory game. No, this team just runs it. And it's so sexy to watch. And poor old Lions just couldn't hold up. Like, they just couldn't keep up with Glasgow. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch too much of this game, but it just feels like a slaughtering. Like, I kept a half an eye on it, because I was out, and I was a bit pissed. For the Lions, all of a sudden, it's looking really, really tough to get into that top 8. 4 games left, already 6 points behind Edinburgh, who's in 8th. Obviously, it's still close, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush. But they need those guys at the top to fumble bags heavily to stand an opportunity. And this was the Lions' opportunity, and it's starting to feel like a very, very long season for the Lions as well. Let's move on to the neutral games, if I could say it like that. Edinburgh doing the job against Dragons. Not really unexpected or anything like that. Big names back, statement victory. The Dragons, they know they did last. Edinburgh knew they needed every single point. They got every single point, 38 points to 5. I don't think there's a lot that you need to add to it. It was just a great Edinburgh performance, basically, and that moves them into the top 8, which is obviously amazing for them. Next up, Connacht taking on Munster. Obviously, one of those Irish derbies. They're always a close encounter. 24 points to 30. Munster getting over the line, still pushing to get into that top 4. Obviously, the loss for the Sharks makes it a lot closer for them, and Munster had a very, very bad start to the season. Now they're sitting in 5th, 6 points behind the Sharks. So if the Sharks can somehow drop points again, Munster would really, really fancy their chances in the last 4 rounds to make it through. I'm not sure. Has Munster gone through in the Champions Cup? They might have, right? Because the Sharks are out, right? I think the Sharks are in the Challenge Cup. I'm not even too sure. I can't even remember. I don't even have the stuff in front of me. But obviously a massive win for Munster. If there was a team that would have wanted the upset victory, it was Connacht. They're still in the running as well. They were still comfortably in the running. So they needed that win. Didn't get it. It is what it is. Yeah, Munster, well done. Then you had the Scarlets putting out a clinical performance against the Ospreys. I said it in the TikTok prediction video. I actually went with the Ospreys, but I said if Scarlets play anything like they played against the Stormers last weekend, they are going to win the game. I just didn't think they're going to play like that again, but in the end they did. They were clinical in attack. They were clinical in defense, right? Like, just menaces at the breakdown. Like, if you don't commit your guys to the breakdown, just watch that Stormers game. They absolutely killed us at the breakdown. Just fetches all over the park. Massive win for Scarlets, right? Well, Welsh derby. Ospreys were on good form as well coming into this game. They've been looking a lot better than when they started the season. They were comfortably last in the league so far, and they've come alive, and now they've just been stunned by Scarlets, who obviously had an amazing start and then kind of dropped off. But that win was absolutely massive for the Scarlets. And then finally you have Benetton that took on Cardiff, and I said this is going to be a 2-3 point game. In Treviso, it's never easy to beat Benetton in Treviso. Cardiff never win by much, never lose by much. Cardiff losing by 1 point. And Benetton will take that all day long, because that victory secures them a 7th spot. in the playoffs now. Once again, them and Edinburgh always battling out for that 7-8 spot, which is absolutely massive for them. And I mean, you don't want to finish 8th, right? Because then you're playing Leinster. You're playing Leinster at the Aviva. Who wants to do that? Is it the Aviva? Maybe at the RDS? I'm not even sure. But they'd fancy. Secondly, they're playing Glasgow. But yeah, obviously trying to end up as high as possible, and then try and get those upset victories. It's massive for Benetton to be in that 7th place. Obviously, that means that they'll be playing Champions Cup next year then as well. So yeah, these teams all really a proper shootout. I mean, we're looking here at between 5th with 39 points, and let's even say the Lions, if they are still in the running, 5th and 14th in a 9-point difference. That is crazy. Like, the Munster are in 5th, right? But if, for instance, the Munster get nothing from a game, and the Stormers are in 10th, get 5 points, they go above Munster. That's just to say how close it is. This is ridiculous. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time. Thank you.